I wanted to like not feel the anxiety and the stress of existing, and Xanax and alcohol and weed like gave that to me. Like, I'm no longer concerned about what you think of me. I feel like I'm finally myself. Even though in reality, I'm a walking zombie and I'm drooling and there's food all over my face and I'm slurring and I don't remember what you just told me 5 seconds ago. I'm on the mountaintop. We're above like the overcast like clouds. It literally looked like I was in heaven. And like that showed me that like, it was almost like a visual of God is what it felt like. And I was like, wow, there's something so much bigger than me. And I think it guided me here. And like, all I have to do is grab this opportunity and do something with it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Journey to Solutions podcast, where we interview people from all walks of life who've overcome the impossible. We shine light on one simple truth: no matter your past, no matter your pain, the power of God, anything is possible. Today we have a very special guest. Some of you guys may have already seen this podcast. It's big. It's out there. You see some big names. It's got some big views, and a lot of amazing people have been on it, and I've been blessed to be on it. It's called F the Stigma. And you guys got to check it out. Really powerful stories. And the host, she's really good at allowing people space to talk, as well as asking some good questions that she knows her audience would want to know. And she's coming up on 5 years.
Coming up on the big 5.
5 years. They say that your head comes out your something at 5 years. You hear a pop. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. And she's just an amazing person. She's an amazing soul. She's got that good energy. She's got that charisma. She's just on fire for helping people and really being a voice for people, especially for those who are young trying to get sober. And so I want to introduce Laisha Martinez.
Thank you for
well, darn it.
I was about to say, that was a beautiful introduction. No, it still is.
And then I just messed it up.
The beautiful introduction.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. I get a little nervous being on the other side where I'm the one that's supposed to be talking a little bit more, but I really appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, of course. So are you saying that you got sober at 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got sober at the age of 18. Isn't that it's so crazy.
It's so hard to like fathom that, because I feel like, one, you're not even 21 yet.
No, I am now.
No, when you got sober.
Right.
Because usually that's a thought of like, like, I'm not even 21 yet. Why would I want to get sober now?
I said that many times. Yeah.
So run us through that. Like how, where did your addiction start, and like how bad did it get that you had to get sober at 18?
No, yeah. Like when I really say that out loud and the years pass, I'm 23 years old now.
Yeah.
And it is really crazy to say I got sober at 18, because that, I feel so grown at 18 years old, but looking back, it's like, yeah, I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I'm a little kid, especially then. Like, I'd barely experienced the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How bad did life get? So I'll give you a little rundown. I grew up primarily in North Carolina.
Okay.
From like the age of 4 to 18. But was born in Providence, Rhode Island. My mom had initially left Rhode Island because she wanted to leave my dad and like fresh start, all of that stuff. But like I think a year later he came down and moved back, and they made up. And I believe they originally split because my dad was smoking weed and doing drugs. And I guess like time passed, and my mom really did want, like a father in the household for us. So I looked past it. I can looking back, I can see my mom feeling really uncomfortable and a lot of arguments and anger outbursts because of like my dad smoking weed. I think before in the past, and it's funny because I don't really know that much about my parents. They both grew up in the Dominican Republic. They were born and raised there, and then later moved to the States. But like in terms of like, certain life challenges that they've experienced, we just don't really have like in-depth conversations with each other to this day. But I do briefly know that my dad did do other substances, but growing up in the household, he just primarily smoked weed.
And did you kind of so now that you can reflect, do you kind of like look back and like, or do you remember like your dad kind of acting weird? Sometimes you're younger, you really don't know. Like, I didn't know my parents were getting high or drinking, or I just thought that was just normal. Like, do you kind of like remember anything how your dad was?
Yes. There's a few memories of him like getting high and smoking weed that I'll share with you. Yeah. I think the first time, like, I mean, and I wouldn't even say like he was like an alcoholic, because the main thing I witnessed was him smoking weed. There'd be a few times we'd go to the gas station, he's like drinking and driving, like drinking it from the paper bag. Yeah. But it was never like, I never, even looking back, I don't see that as, I didn't see it as super alarming. But I remember there was times where me and my brother shared a room up until I was like my freshman year of high school. So we shared a room for a really long time, and my parents shared the other room. We were in a 2-bedroom, like maybe like 700 square foot apartment. And so I was just hanging out in the living room, and I think I was in like sixth grade, and I just like remember smelling this like thing, and I was really concerned, and I tried and open my dad's door, and I couldn't, it was locked, and I just like see smoke, like, you know, coming out from under, like he's just hotboxing his bedroom while my mom's at work. And I'm like banging on the door, and he's not answering, and you know, time goes by, and he finally answers the door, and he's just like the most stoned I've ever seen anybody in my life. And I don't even remember what was said after that, but I like have that visual in my head. And I remember later after that, my brother found like a brown paper bag filled with weed, and like we looked at it and we're like, oh, disgusted, like what is this? And yeah, it was just, and I remember my parents just getting into arguments about that, and my mom was just really overall upset that my dad smoked weed, and I think my dad had like underlying mental health issues, and I don't think weed made it any better, and he would like act out angrily. And there'd be times, I wouldn't say like, I think I had a pretty decent upbringing compared to a lot of the stories I've heard. And I think that's an issue that I have, though, is like comparing trauma. Yeah. And especially like when I was, in rehab at 18, that's what I did a lot. And that's what could have, if I stuck with that mindset, that really could have prevented me from like sitting here with you today. But it's not like I was in fear of like getting hit every day, but there would be like maybe once a month, like it's like, wow, you're so angry over absolutely nothing. Like the tiniest thing there, my brother would run away. And like the first time I was in a cop car, it was because we were trying to find my brother. And I was a big gamer growing up, so I made the online friends, right?
What games did you play?
I played a lot of Minecraft, GTA, Call of Duty, like things like that. But I made a really good friend like playing Minecraft growing up on the computer. And we were on Skype at the time. We were using Skype to talk. Like I'm telling you, I'm in elementary school, like talking to strangers on Skype. And I forget what happened, but my dad's fucking pissed and yelling, right? And I think he's like yelling at my brother, and my friend online can hear what's going on. And then I leave, and I'm like looking at this, and like my dad's like hitting my brother, and then my brother ends up running away. And that was that time. And I remember like I never knew how to express my feelings like in a good way. I remember just like I punched a hole in the wall during that time. And then I think somehow my friend online like called the police, and they were able to, because I didn't call the cops. I doubt my brother called the cops, and I don't think my dad did. So I was on this call, and my friend like managed to somehow get the cops to my house, and we were all like confused on how that happened. But I think it was because I had my friend I think he had his babysitter call the cops or something. So like things like that were happening. I remember there was a time of like my dad literally like sitting on me and like just hitting my face, and my nose is bleeding, and like I don't know what to do. Oh, wow. And the ways I coped were just like hitting my face. Because
how'd you process as a kid?
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, my dad got on top of me and was hitting me in the nose.
Yeah.
Like punching me. Like.
Yeah, and I and there was times like, I just didn't know what to do about it. The way like when you just like squeeze so hard, like bring so much pressure to your face to where like your nose bleeds, like those were the things I would do. I would just hit myself in the head. Like that's how I expressed like my feelings of uncomfortability growing up. And yeah, dude, shit like that was happening.
And I can relate to that because my dad was, or again, not every day, but I can remember very clearly, like you said, like, I remember one time he was screaming at me at a restaurant because I put too much salt in my soup, like things like that, where like, And I remember I was just so afraid because I'm just like, dude, like what's happening? And then an incident where 6th grade, I had a friend sleep. My mom's was like, you can have a friend sleep over, right? One of my guy friends slept over, and we wake up and my dad's in jail. And I'm like, well, what happened? My mom goes, your dad came home drunk, saw that your friends were spending the night, and he got pissed off and just fucking went crazy, physical with my mom. Things like that, because I had a friend sleep over, like just crazy stuff. And, you know, if I didn't want to go eat this specific food or just dumb stuff, and he was just like scary. It was almost like my dad didn't know how to channel anger.
Yeah.
So it just became like violent and like scary. And I'm being a kid, right? It's like a scary thing to be around because you feel helpless, like and it's your household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like, and this just came to me as you were talking, like I remembered this in rehab. Like one of my earliest memories of like my dad moving back like to North Carolina, like when we had just moved, and like I'm sitting on the couch looking down at my mom on the floor with my dad on top of her with a knife to her throat.
Your dad had a knife to her throat?
Yeah. Oh, and God. My mom is yelling like, please call 911, please call the police. And like, I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Right.
And I'm
afraid.
like 4 or 5 years old. And I remember my brother, I think he was sleeping, and like my brother running out. And that's like the last thing I remember. But like, those were the things. And and of course it wasn't every day. So it makes me feel like it's whatever. But in sobriety and early recovery, like that's when I learned like, oh, I've experienced these things that affect me to this day. I've never processed that. Right. But at the end of the day, like my parents put food on the table and supported us financially was the main way. It was never super emotionally, but I love my parents. Like, and I don't want to like it to be like a fuck my parents shit show, but those were the things I experienced that I later had to work on. Right. And
you still have to honor those things, right? It's like, we're not here to blame our parents. We're not trying to make it feel, but it's like, hey, but this is what happened. Yeah. We're just saying it, you know, 'cause that's how we process it.
Yeah. So that was like, you know, my dad was kind of like my mom is like a saint, you know, like she's a widow. She had a previous marriage. He passed away from cancer, but like me and my brother are her first kids with my dad. And she's a saint. Like I've seen her drink maybe 3 times in my life, like at New Year's or Christmas, like family gatherings. Right. So my dad was my first experience with like substances really. And this is also something like, and I'm the younger sibling between me and my brother. And I don't really know how I like felt as a kid, but I remember like, I don't know. I just wanted to be liked by everybody. I was a people pleaser. I can go back and remember that.
Are you extroverted naturally or more introverted?
Compared to like my brother, like he always like envisioned me as the most extroverted, like the one that makes them more friends that everybody likes.
My sister's so cool. She could talk to anybody.
That's how he viewed me, right? And but in like, I think this started in 3rd grade. Around 3rd grade, like there was just this kid in class who made me do things with him that I really didn't want to do. And that took me, I never told anybody about that up until my first therapist in rehab. And then only recently have I like started like sharing it on like the platform. You know what I mean?
What grade were you in?
3rd grade.
Okay. And
this happened for like 2 years because we were in the same fucking class for 2 years in elementary school. And like, yeah, I had to do things to this kid that I really didn't want to do, and that made me feel uncomfortable. And then I remember like I'm in 3rd, 4th grade thinking I'm pregnant. Like I'm gonna have to tell my parents that I'm gonna have a baby. You know what I mean? And I ended up like developing this like almost like intrusive thought that like if I touched doorknobs, it would like I would get pregnant as well.
How do you think that happened, the doorknob part?
I have no idea. Like my brain just fixated on it, and then like I would like wash my hands until they bled.
And that started happening after the
it was around that same time. Yeah, so like that's how I'm coping with that. And I told nobody about it. And I'm like going home talking about like sexual things, and my brother's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? And how do you know what that is?"
Let me ask you this: now that you can look back, because this is very common, right? Because people always like, "Well, why didn't you tell your parents?" People always say that, you know. For you now that when you look back, like why didn't you tell your parents that was going on? Like how did you kind of like digest that experience that caused you to be like, I can't tell my parents?
Right, that's a good question. Because I knew it felt wrong, and like this stuff was happening at school, and like even near teachers, and it was just like it was like I could just read that I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, and it didn't feel right to share, if that makes sense. And I couldn't like, it just almost like never. It did cross my mind, but I never felt comfortable to do so. And like, how do I even explain that? It just overall felt wrong. So why would I share it? Like, I didn't know how to share things and talk about things.
Yeah, I think it's common.
You know what I mean?
I think it's common for people. I'm like that, where I want to avoid conflict at all costs naturally. Yeah. So if it feels uncomfortable to talk about, I'd rather just not talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? And you're a kid, so I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. When I think about talking about it, it feels worse. So I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. So, yeah. And like, you got me thinking about that now. It's like, what was really going through my head? But I don't know. And then, so my dad, smoking weed, I get to middle school and, you know, I make a little bestie, right? He's like my gay best friend. And we go through school together, and then his brother ended up committing suicide in 7th grade. And then I remember like he got told at school when this happened. Like he was told the news at school, and I remember he came up to me after lunch in 7th grade, and he was like, "Laisha, can I please have a hug?" And nobody really like, nobody like goes up to you and like really asks that, especially him. He'll just hug you. And I remember for some fucking reason, I was like, why? Like, why would I say why? Like, why not just give somebody a hug? And that's like a lesson I learned. It's like, if somebody asks you for something like a fucking hug, just give it to them, because you never know what they're going through. So I went to the funeral with him, and like, yeah, like we really built a bond. Right. And he was my friend throughout my entire addiction. And then around 8th grade, it's when everybody in school is starting to smoke weed and talking about it. And I have this ick with weed because it makes my fucking dad weird. Yeah. But at the same time, I want to be liked. And at this point, I feel so uncomfortable with myself. I identify as a lesbian. I'm like going through like my sexuality crisis. I also don't really own my ethnicity. I'm full Dominican. And I'm like losing my Spanish. Like Spanish I'm pretty sure was my first language, and like I sound really whitewashed when I speak it. Yeah. Which I'm slightly ashamed about, but I did it to myself, and I like really saw myself wanting to be somebody that I wasn't for, starting in middle school, right? And like, but yeah, like I'm going through like this crisis with, my ethnicity, my sexuality, and then now people want to like do drugs, and I feel like this pressure of like, of course I have to do that, right? So time comes, and at this point my brother went to college, and he came back for break, and he like gives me a vape for the first time, right? And I vape, and it was, I coughed my brains out, and I'm like, that was great. And I was sick at the time, so it made it worse.
Is it a weed vape or a
it's just
vape?
A nicotine. Okay, so nicotine is technically the first thing I've ever smoked.
So your first thing was nicotine, so you hit it.
And then I'm also like, and then I'm in high school now, and I'm like the jewel plug, because my brother's of age. And at this time, you could buy like nicotine at 18 years old. Yeah. So he was 18, and I was able to like get vapes. So now I'm like addicted to nicotine. And I'm buying people jewels, buying people jewel pods. So I'm like, I'm the cool kid. People need me right now, right?
Yeah, I know that feeling. When you can provide something that people want, makes you feel needed.
Yes. And at this point, my parents work a lot, and we moved to a house, so now like the bills are a little higher, and I finally got my own room and more privacy, especially because like my brother had left to college, and he's only there like for breaks, and my mom's working 3 jobs at this point, and then my dad's like working the night shift or something like that. And yeah, I hear people talking about weed, and my brother's like smoking weed now. And I'm like, dude, yeah, that's something I would totally like to try. So he rolled me my first joint, and I go and smoke it with some friends in the woods of my friend's neighborhood, and it was fun. Like, it was a good time.
So you enjoyed it your first time for you.
Yeah, it was a good time. Did I do it properly? I don't know. Right. But like, and I was like, do I really feel it? Like that, those were the things going through my head.
What do you think it was about that time for you that you found like it was fun for you?
Because I'm with these people that I feel really I feel anxious around people all of the time. And we're laughing and enjoy, like we're stepping in mud and getting dirty, and it's like, I'm not overthinking anything. We have a fucking mission and assignment, and it is to smoke this joint, and I loved it. It was a good time, and I knew from then I was going to smoke again. I wouldn't say it was like a aha situation. I think I had more of that experience with alcohol, but I just knew I wanted to do it again, and it was fun.
Yeah, you had fun. That's really what it sounds like. You had fun. You were connected. You weren't overthinking. So I was like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah,
I want to do it again. Yeah.
And then also something I want to mention is like, I was so sheltered. Like when I tell you, like I grew up on the internet, Like how I spent my free time was watching TV shows or playing GTA or like killing forward, like shooting zombies. Like, you know what I mean? And the main reason I feel like is because like my parents, like there was summers where we literally never left the fucking house. My parents weren't like an extracurricular type of family. I never played sports. We never really, I think we went on one family vacation. My dad didn't even go to that. Like my parents are homebodies and they see the outside as danger. Like I wanted to go to the mall with my friends in middle school and like it was the biggest deal in the world. They're like, you're gonna die. Like you have to be like, they really just didn't want me to leave the house ever. So I like, growing up, I felt like a guilt and an anxiety with leaving the house. It felt like I was doing something wrong. It's like borderline agoraphobic is what my parents were.
They're like instilling fear in you, like all these false fears.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And like all they do is go to work and home. Like that's their lives, or the grocery store. There was nothing. Yeah. So I always felt weird leaving the house. Right. And then in high school, I get to this point like where I'm like, okay, I'm really gay now. And I figured that out. I had that awakening but I don't feel super comfortable sharing that with everybody. And so I'm in my head about that. And then I'm in a high school where everybody around me, I feel like they're fucking white and I want to look like them, but I don't.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't feel good internally. Like gym class, I fucking hated it. Changing in the locker room or just like getting sweaty. And like, I always asked my dad to pick me up from gym. Like he would be asleep because he's working the third shift, but I'm like calling him, blowing him up for him to pick me up from school. Like, he was always picking me up from school because I just didn't want to be there. So I ended up switching to schools my sophomore year to like an arts magnet school. It was closer to like downtown Winston-Salem. And it's like a small little city. Like Winston-Salem where I'm growing up, maybe like 500,000 people total. Like, you know, not like LA or anything like that.
LA's
so
like 18 million just in LA.
Yeah. So anyways, I go to this new school and I'm like, this is my new chance to like be a new Laisha, right? And at this point, I'm not smoking weed every day, but I get introduced to like this friend group of people that like drink and get drunk together and have slumber parties and have an amazing time. And I want to be a part of that. So I remember, and like these girls always do fucking slumber parties. And that was also one of my biggest anxieties growing up is like sleeping not in my bed, you know, like I'm not trying to do that. I want to be at home and alone in my bed. But these people like, you know, the pressure, I want to be liked and I want to be a part of this friend group and all of that. And they're like, Laisha, let's go to your house. Let's have a slumber party. And I'm like, it's just me and 3 other girls. One of them I have the biggest crush on ever. And, like anxious. Like when I tell you, I'm just overthinking everything that's coming out of my mouth and I don't feel comfortable in my skin. And I just don't know who fucking Laisha is at this point because I alter myself to like what I think you would like.
Yeah, you become a chameleon to what I think you like. I'm going to become that.
Yeah. And this is all in my fucking head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I love that you said that, what I think you want. Right? Not even like, oh, I want you to be like this. No, I think this is what they want, so I'll become it.
Exactly. Like, have I asked them? Like, you know, this is all in my head.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what anxiety is. Like all the different possibilities and things you're like, I think, like, you know, for example, like you, I think I know everything you think of me. And it's like, how the fuck could I know that?
Yeah.
Anyways. My parents aren't home because my dad works a third shift and then my mom's working a million jobs.
Yeah.
So I have people over at my house and my brother, he'd gotten in trouble. So his car's at our house. So he didn't take it to college. And I like, don't know what to do. And like, they talk about alcohol and I'm like, guys, fuck it. Let's figure out a way to get alcohol. So I take my brother's car. I think I have my permit, at this point. And I drive my brother's car and we go to his sheets and we shove a bunch of Four Locos and strawberries down our pants and we run out. Yeah. You know, and then I drive home and we just start drinking.
And this is your first time drinking?
This is my first time really drinking. I think I had sips like at family functions in elementary school, but this is my first time like intentionally drinking to feel an effect.
And you're getting a Four Loko.
Yeah, I'm getting a fucking Four Loko, bro. And it was the best night of my life. I usually don't share this either, but like I had a threesome and like I felt like I could tell this person I loved her and I felt so warm and fuzzy and like I wasn't overthinking anymore. All that anxiety I had felt that day of like, oh my God, this fucking sleepover tonight and this, that, and the third and like the uncomfortability in my skin, I no longer felt that. And
would you say that was one of like the biggest things too, right? It's like, because alcohol is like that social lubricant. It's like if you're an anxious person, just have a beer.
Yeah.
You will not be anxious one bit. And now all those fears that you had go away. And guess what? You can finally be yourself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I fell in love with alcohol that night.
Yeah.
I was like in and out of a blackout. So I blacked out a little bit. And I only remember a bit. I kind of remember my mom coming home. Like when I tell you we're just like sliding on the floor and doing the most. Like it was really extra, but in my mind it was the funnest fucking night ever. And from then, like when I woke up that morning, I was like, I'm definitely doing this a lot. And all I had to do was go to a gas station and steal some fucking Four Locos. Yeah. So that's when it started. Like it was a pretty decently quick progression. Like I'm like 14 at this time. I got sober at 18.
Yeah. So 4 years.
Which it was, a big struggle because a lot of people that I meet, they have decades of experience with using.
30 years I've been drinking and shooting up dope. And I was arrested and homeless and this and that. And yeah, I get it.
Yeah, dude. So from there, I think, I'm in my sophomore year. And then, like, I'm just cutting classes a bit, and then I eventually get my license. I get my first job at Domino's. And now I'm like smoking a little more frequently. I figure out what a drug dealer is. I'm like, and it's not, and it's like not legal in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Like you could get.
Oh, for weed?
Yeah. So you could get arrested like with a gram or something. So yeah, I'm like finding like these people that I can get weed off of. And it's like.
Are you one of those people that could smoke and drink?
Yes.
I could never do that. Every time I'm drinking, I regret. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a hit of that blunt. And then I just become the weird. I'm just, oh no.
For me, that was the point. Like that was the point.
I couldn't function. No,
I loved doing that. So like with alcohol at that point, it became like an every weekend thing. So that's my sophomore year. And then, so when I get my first job in my car, around the second semester, that's when like, I'm like telling my mom like, oh, I'm doing the closing shift at Domino's and I'm really going to my friend's house, hotbox my car. Yeah. So, but it's fun right now. And we're going to IHOP and just ordering everything we fucking can.
What's open late? IHOP or Denny's? This place open late. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like what I was doing. And it was fun. But I'm like, I'm only cutting a few classes. Like I'm still kind of present in school. But then, my junior year comes along. And also like, if I'm hanging out with you, I'm suggesting that we smoke and drink. Like, why wouldn't we do that? And that's something like I want to introduce to everybody. So yeah, my junior, I don't think anything super significant happened between my sophomore and junior year. It was just fun drinking and smoking. And then my junior year came around, and so my junior year was like, the second semester of my junior year was 2020. So that's when COVID hit. COVID. Yeah. So, but like the first semester of my junior year, so like the very end of 2019 is when I first did Xanax, right? So I'm like going, the high school drama. I'm going through some high school drama, and I'm hanging out with this new person I don't typically hang out with. And I'm thinking we're just going to go buy some weed. And she's in the passenger seat, and the drug dealer comes to the passenger seat window, and he gives us the weed, but he offers Xanax. And I think it was a green one, if I'm not mistaken.
Klonopin? I think the green ones are Klonopin. They're more extended release. It's the same thing. It's just like the extended release Xanax. Yeah.
We called them the green monsters, or like the Hulks.
Hulks. Yeah.
So no hesitation. She looked at me for like reassurance, and I was like, no hesitation. I said yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, whatever. And like at this point, I'm like, I think I have a girlfriend, and like, we're going through a little breakup, and then me and my friends aren't in good terms. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. Yeah. And that day, that was the first time I did Xanax, drank, and smoked. Oof. And I was, of course, behind the wheel, right? And I remember and I just, I just took it, like, downed it with some alcohol.
Because at this point, you don't even know what it does, do you?
No!
You just
I looked up nothing. I didn't ask her anything. Yeah. Like, I was like, I'm just going to take this pill. And I remember the moment that, like, I just remember laying on like some random person's bed and just feeling my eyes getting so heavy. And like, and the not remembering part of my day is what I loved. Like who fucking knows? I didn't know what I was doing. There's just mainly videos and what people say is what I like, how I make up the story of the previous day. Right. But this day I'm like hotboxing my car. I'm driving. We're drinking more Four Locos. I'm at the mall. I'm on a rooftop. I end up going to a car wash. Like I'm doing the most, and like I don't even like. I only have like a little like 2-second memory of each of those bits, and I somehow wake up, and I'm in bed safe and sound.
That's so lucky.
And I was like, that was fucking awesome.
So you fell in love with that experience.
I fell in love with it then and there, dude. Instantly asked this girl, who was that guy? Like, let me get the number. And from then, like, I really started seeking out Xanax, and it was fucking instant, like instantaneously. And then like, also, since I'm like, oh, pills, these are fun, I start like experimenting with Molly and like other things, just like for fun. But like the Molly I was getting, like I felt good for 5 seconds, and then like I got a little bit of euphoria, and then it went away. So it wasn't my favorite. And I also realized like I loved feeling down. I wasn't like an uppers person.
More of a downer person.
Yeah. And so from there, I started introducing my best friend who I mentioned from middle school. I started introducing him to Xanax, and I'm like, dude, take this. You're gonna fall in love. And he did. So now I have me and my best friend addicted to Xanax. At this time, like, I wouldn't have called it addiction or that like I'm dependent or anything like that. And smoking is an everyday thing. It's the bare minimum. If I don't smoke, I'm fucking pissed, because that's my baseline, right? But
and are you taking like one pill at a time with the Xanax? Are you still building a tolerance?
Dude, that first night I only took half.
Yeah. And
I was like, I was crazy. And apparently, like, dude, I was on phone calls with people slurring, and you know how you are on Xanax. It's like you're a zombie. So but yeah, it's not super crazy. I think it's only like 2 months of fun. And then after that, it became fucking stupid. 2 months of like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then it's like, whoa, like, Laisha, you need to like get it together, right? Like, and then I started skipping school a lot more my junior year, just to be able to smoke throughout the school day. And like I felt cool doing it, and it was a little bit of a rush. And then I remember like, so now, March 2020, I show up to school one day, and they're like, hey, you don't have to come back for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, sick.
The COVID time.
Yeah, the COVID. And I didn't even know what COVID, like, this is the day I learned what COVID-19 was. I didn't realize there was a pandemic or like some virus out there. Because I was like, at this point, I was so unaware.
We're not watching the news.
Reality.
We don't know what's happening in reality. I'm like, I don't know what.
Yeah. And then like in North Carolina, in my mind, obviously people live like full lives, busy lives. But in my mind, there's nothing to do in North Carolina besides drinking, driving, and like post it up at a park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all I did with my free time for the most part, is going into stores and stealing, or figuring out who I'm buying drugs from, or who I'm robbing, or where I'm fucking trespassing. Like that was the day to day for the most part. Anyways, learn that COVID's a thing. I'm like, great, I don't have to go to school. And then eventually after the 2 weeks, they say that you don't have to come back at all.
The world's shutting down.
Yeah, the world's shutting down. I'm like, and I'm out of reality at this point. You know what I mean? So then it becomes like,
yeah, how is that? Because the thing is, I already had 3 years at this point, right, of sobriety. I can't imagine just fucking partying, and my dream would be to just my dream would be like, I don't have to work no more, go to school, money would come in, and then this thing actually does happen.
Yeah.
But hey, the world's shutting down. What?
Yeah, like that? It doesn't hit me at all. It meant like, wow, I don't have to do school now. Now I can fully focus on doing drugs.
That's why that'd be like the coolest thing for me. Like, well, hell yeah.
Yeah. So like I remember around that time, like a little bit of the consequences. Like I had like really bad issues with my tonsils. I remember like complaining to my mom about my tonsils and how they were like super enlarged and swollen. I kind of had pain back there. And she like goes to school to pick me up, and I'm not there. And I'm not answering my phone. And my mom's like, where the fuck are you? We have like a doctor's appointment to get to. And I'm like, gone. I don't even know where I am. I think I went to Charlotte, which is like an hour and a half away, to pick somebody up from the airport. Like, that's the random like missions and activities I was doing. Like, I was 2 hours away when I had a fucking doctor's appointment. And I completely forgot because I'm doing Xanax.
Yeah, you're all bought out.
So around this time, so it started with half a pill, and then eventually it became 1, and then 1.5. And mind you, I'm drinking on top of it.
It's the worst you could do with it.
And if I take like any amount of Xanax, like I am stealing. So then I like am obviously gonna like steal more alcohol or whatever. And also like in my mind, I think I'm taking 2 pills, but I don't remember ever going back to the plug, and I probably did to buy more. And at this time, they're like $5 a pop. So then, like, you start experiencing more. Now I'm like snorting Xanax, and I think I feel so cool. And then I start crushing up the pill and putting it in my blunt. Yeah. And then I lick the outside of my blunt and sprinkle some on the outside too. And I think I'm inventing this shit. I'm a revolutionary, right? And that's what's happening. At this point, I think I work at Taco Bell. And so...
You ever go to work like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And like... I think later, like, I think a year later, I was like, dude, I'm not going to work on Xanax. But I did. But like, I was trying to draw those lines for myself where I'm like, I'm just going to wait till after work. There. Yeah. Dude. So, yeah. And I'm like, what happens during this time? We get in a few fender benders, right? So, there was a time where like my friend, like, like hit somebody from the back, like rear end somebody. And I was like in the passenger seat, passed out. And I am not able to be woken up, like stone cold out. And like the police are there, just, get a police report, insurance shit. And I'm like, no recollection of that. I don't even remember you trying to wake me up, dude. And we were always driving under the influence. And then later, I think my friend, like a few weeks after that, my friend like rams his car into a tree, my best friend. And he totals his car. So I'm the one driving. And only a few months, that summer of my junior year going into senior year, I get my first DUI. So that was July 31st of 2020. I get my first DUI, and I'm driving a little 2-door Honda Civic. And I think I'm on the way to go see some girl, but I have my friend in the passenger seat. And I just take a little curve way too crazy, I guess. I just lost control, and I'm doing 360s. On this like 2-lane windy road, and then my car like kind of T-bones like a brick mailbox or something like that, and car's smoking, things are leaking, the car's not drivable, but I'm trying to drive it, and somebody calls the police, and I do a field sobriety test. My friend vanishes, and I got charged with my first DUI that night. I guess I failed the field sobriety test. I thought I was acing it, and they draw my blood. They take me, draw my blood. I'm like in a holding cell in downtown. They get a hold of my mom, and I'm supposed to be released on a custody release because I'm 17 at the time. And she's yelling at me as we're leaving the jailhouse, and I'm like, fuck you, and I just run off into downtown Winston. And now I'm like calling a friend, like, pick me up from downtown. My mom's being a fucking bitch. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now I'm like sleeping on friends' couches, right? And like, I'm pretty sure my parents are concerned at this point. Like, I'm getting voicemails, texts, but I'm not aware of it. Like I just ignore them. And like, I'm so able now to put things out of my mind, which I wanted to do so badly my whole life. I wanted to like not feel the anxiety and the stress of existing, and Xanax and alcohol and weed like gave that to me. Like, I'm no longer concerned about what you think of me. I feel like I'm finally myself. Yeah, you're free. Even though in reality, I'm a walking zombie, and I'm drooling, and there's food all over my face, and I'm slurring, and I don't remember what you just told me 5 seconds ago, right? So that was the reality of my addiction for like the remaining like 2 years. So I get my first DUI, and like, yeah, and then now it really has become an everyday thing, and I want it every day. And yeah, the amount I'm taking progresses, and the things I'm doing is getting crazier. I try to be a drug dealer at this time, and I think I'm going to be the best, but I'm trying to sell drugs under the influence.
Drug dealer on Xanax?
Dude, I am the drug dealer on Xanax.
Wait, did I give it to you? No, you didn't. Oh, here you go.
Dude, shit like that. Yeah. Or just me just flat out getting robbed, because it's that easy. And that's what happened every time. Yeah. I got robbed.
Dude, Xanax is crazy. Like, I always find it fascinating for people that's like their drug. Yeah. Because I remember the first time I took it, I was in 9th grade. And just like you, they're like, Fausto, where were you last week? I was like, what do you mean? Bro, this kid has this thing called Xanax. I'm like, well, what is that? Bro, you just got to try it. It's fun. Well, I got Vicodin. Would he trade? So the guy's like, yeah, I'll trade you. So I go, here's 2 Vicodin. Because I'd always manipulate the dentist to give me Vicodin.
Oh, wow.
To say I'm in pain. And so, again, I take a bar. and I'm drinking.
Yeah.
Same thing, drinking, smoking, all that, and just black out the whole night and wake up. And I remember I was like, well, first time I was like, oh, that was cool. But then the second time I lost my phone, I lost my keys, I lost everything. And then I was like, oh, screw that. Like, I can't even stay up on this. But I'd always try. I'd sniff it.
Yeah.
And one time we were filming a music video because my friends always wanted to be hip hop artists, and I had a
Yeah.
camera, a nice one.
Yeah.
So I'd always bring when we party. You know, when we're just partying, and we're sniffing Xanax. And I watched the next morning. I was like, who the fuck broke my camera?
And it was you.
It was me. I watched the footage. You see me. Oh, look at me able to do a backflip.
That's crazy. The fact you caught it on camera and you're the one filming it.
Yeah, like that's
Right,
it.
dude. Like, that's the shit that happens. And it is weird. It is really weird that I enjoyed it so much. I can't lie to you. It is weird. Because I'm not on planet Earth.
Yeah,
Right?
you're just somewhere else.
Like, the main thing I remember is the high sitting in. Like, me. Oh, dude. It was the feeling. Like, even, like, I would remember going to the dealer. You know, you're anxious. Like, the dude's not fucking answering, but you're outside. You're waiting 20 minutes. And I'm like, you know, anxious, shaking. And as soon as he gives me the pill and it's in my hand, I feel better.
Right. It's like okay, I'm good. I haven't even taken it yet, but it's here.
Yes, and it's here. And I often like chose to like just orally take the Xanax because like I love that little anticipation of when it's gonna hit.
Driving
like,
around,
yeah.
waiting for
I'm
it.
like, let me light up a blunt really
Yeah,
quick.
it's a
I
dream.
needed that. Like, that was my trio.
Yeah.
It was alcohol, Xanax, and weed. And where was I? So yeah, I got my first DUI.
To get your DUI and stuff like that, your couch surfing, not to everyday habit, you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every day, and it's progressing. I mean, it was already progressing. Now it's just getting a little worse. And then my parents are so like generous and kind, and they bought me another car. I had that car for a month. So January of 2021, I got my second DUI.
I got a second one.
Yeah, I got my second one. And what is life like at this point? I think I have like multiple girlfriends. I'm like crying to one person. I'm crying to this one girl about my ex that I want to get back with, but I'm like, I kind of want to get with you too. I am like, and it makes me, Xanax also makes me extremely sexual. And the things I would do were just so not me. And like, not that I knew who I was, but I know I wouldn't have done that sober, like at all. Like, I'm so now at this point, like, I lost my virginity to my drug dealer in the midst of a blackout. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, I was able to steal some money from his pocket and some Xans. You know what I mean? Like, did I really want to do that? No. But like, whatever. And then that's what I start doing is like I start having sex with these drug dealers, and that's just something that like I just wouldn't do. And I identify as a lesbian at this point, and I just like am putting myself in these situations. Like, anybody I encounter, I want to make out with you. Like that's who I am on Xanax. And I very much became that person that can't hang. You know, it's like, dude, please get away from me, because I'm lying to your face and it's so obvious, and I'm trying to steal something from you on top of it. So that's happening around this time. And then, yeah, so at this time, yeah, there was like the white Xans, blue Xans, yellow Xans, the green Xans, like all of these different ones. And I think this was getting Xans from this one dude. And I remember my friend went into this person's house to go get them. He walks outside and he was like, these are going to be good. This girl was falling down the stairs, like, as he was giving them to me. Like, that's what we want to do. What? But we take them, and I'm driving on the highway that night. And I guess I'm getting past the blunt. I'm not wearing a seatbelt, and I crash into the center divider that's like separating the lanes of the highway. Smash my face into the steering wheel, blood all over my nose, busted lip, black eye the next day. And I have Xans in my car, and I'm like throwing them on the other side of the highway. My car's not drivable. Somebody calls the police, and they put me in an ambulance. And I got charged with my second DUI that night, which I don't remember. I was like, how did they charge me? Like, I was in the hospital. You know, like, that's what's going through my head. Like, I didn't even know I wasn't really aware I got that second one, but I was more so pissed that I totaled my car. So the next day, I'm punching mirrors. I'm hitting myself against the wall. And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking done with Xanax. That's the issue. And then I'm like, okay, what's Adderall like? Like, this is me, dude. And I didn't like it as much. I mean, I kind of liked that I felt a little different, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, it's a stimulant. It's upper.
Yeah, dude, like, I'm not eating, and I'm fucking awake for 24
Yeah.
hours. So, and I was like, yeah, I had like the extended releases, the orange, like they were really good. But it's not what I really wanted to feel. When I tell you I was in love with escaping reality and not being here, that's what the goal was. If I remembered too much of the day before, I was pissed. It's like I didn't take enough, I didn't drink enough. That was always the goal. I think I'm working at Dunkin' Donuts at this time, and my manager at the time is like, she loves to drink, and we're able to like make mixed drinks using like the Dunkin' stuff, and so I'm like drinking at work. And again, I get another car right after that second DUI. Dude, my parents are like, I mean, I feel bad. I really do. I don't want to call them like, it's just like, why did you give me another car? But at the same time, I'm really grateful for everything that has happened during this time period. Because if I didn't get 3 DUIs, I really doubt I'd be sitting here with you today. As well as like the amount that I got in such a short amount of time. Like, I'm grateful for that. But dude, I'm putting my life, the passenger's life, all these people on the road's life in danger every time I'm like driving, because I'm never sober. Like, so yeah, I try cocaine here and there, and there was also sometimes like Xanax droughts, like nobody had them. So I'm like, that's when I experiment with these other substances, but Xanax is my one and true love.
Were you ever getting like withdrawals from the Xanax? Because I know sometimes people that become hooked on them, the withdrawals can lead to like seizures.
Yeah,
like,
same with alcohol, right?
Alcohol too,
but not that I remember. I can't lie to you. And they're also like, you know, like, I don't know what I was really taking. I don't know what was really in them.
Luckily you didn't get any fentanyl ones.
Yeah.
There's stories like that. One Xanax someone takes and they die, and you're like,
yeah, like it's a fucking miracle that like. And so I remember, because we always inspect them when we get them, and I'm like, these look a little weird, but who cares? Like, throw it back. So yeah, my parents are pissed at me at this point. You know, I think the last time my dad like actually physically like laid hands on me was because like, I think they always did have like an anxiety every time I left the house in my car. And my dad like asked for the keys to my car one day. I forget this, you know, the situation or why. Maybe I came home late, who knows. But he asked me for the keys to my car, and I'm like, and I have a little bit of like a Xanax hangover typically. Like, I wake up and I'm like still not all the way there. But I remember like that I didn't like the sound of, let me get your car keys. So he said, let me get your car keys. He closed the door, and I was like, fuck, I have to get up and hide my keys. So I got up and I hid my keys somewhere, and he's like, and then he comes back and he's like, where the fuck are your car keys? And I'm like, you're not getting them. And then he, again, like, I'm on the ground and getting hit. And I remember texting my friend right after that happened. And I was like, dude, I'm so over this shit. Can we leave and go get some Xanax? Like, now I'm like looking back at my story, it's my coping mechanism. But I didn't realize that I had anything to cope with at the time, you know? Like, I didn't identify even then, like, as an addict, really. And I really wouldn't have recognized, I don't know, dude. Like, maybe I did have that moment of it's a problem, because, like, I'm like, I need to stop the Xans. Like, but I'm not, but stopping doing, like, drinking or smoking or anything like that, like, did not cross my mind, really. Like, I need to have at least a little something. Like, as soon as, like, substances became a part of my everyday life, I couldn't see life without them. So, anyways, my dad later apologized to me about that situation, like, a month sober, which I thought was really cool without me even bringing it up or anything like that. And what happens is I really realized that Xanax is an issue at some point towards the end of my addiction, because my second DUI did get to me a little bit. I tried to take less Xanax, but I hated that I didn't forget everything, and then whatever. I'm like, maybe drinking is just my route. My girlfriend at the time really likes cocaine. I'm like, maybe this is the route I should go, but I'm not really feeling that, like, what I really want. And I remember my friend who I got hooked on Xanax, he wanted to hang out one day, and I was like, cool, but I'm not going to take any pills with you, sir. And we're in the car and we're smoking, and he's like, here, take a pill. Like, I was like, hey, no, I told you I didn't want to do that. And then he keeps pressing me, because you're on Xanax. You forget what you just asked the person 5 seconds ago. Yeah, like, okay, and I'm like, now I'm really aware of what I look like on Xanax, because I'm seeing my friend in the situation. Everything I described to you earlier, I was like, I got the fucking ick. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this shit. This is over. And I just got so annoyed with him. And I was like, I can't believe this is me. Like, I'm looking at basically a mirror of myself. And that's when I really got the ick. But I forget what time frame that was. I think I got really annoyed with him. But then I decided to hang out with him like a month later or something. He's like, just one more time, Laisha. Like, fuck it. And we got these blue ones and some weed. And I remember looking at this bag and I was like, something really good. I meant like not something really good. Something really bad could happen, or I could wake up in my bed safe and sound. Like I really had like just a weird feeling about it one day, and I didn't want to really take this pill. Even though I wanted it, like deep down, I was like, I shouldn't. But I took it anyways. That night, the craziest of shits happened. Like, I think I'm vandalizing my friend's high school, or I have a gun in my hand and I'm like waving it around, and just all sorts of things, like taking dabs in a car. And also I loved dabs. That became like one of the progressions as well. And I woke up that night in a jail cell with my 3rd DUI. So I got 3 DUIs in the time span of 11 months.
So you don't remember that DUI?
No. Apparently, I was asleep at a green light, like at 2 or 3 in the morning. Like with my foot on the brake. Like maybe I was rolling a little bit, but like I was asleep at a light. And then I think an ambulance like looked at me or whatever and like got my attention. I don't know. But there was a lot of times where I'm like parked dead asleep in a car and people are concerned. Like, cause it's a different kind of like I'm nodded out. Like you're not going to get me up. So that was my rock. I would say like the moment that I was done. Like I was like, why I did this again? My mom said she's not fucking bailing me out anymore. I'm in a jail cell. Like in the attire, I really thought I was gonna wake up in my bed as I was waking up. But I'm like, this feels uncomfortable, and I open my eyes and I'm really in a jail cell. And I didn't know when I was gonna leave. I thought nobody was bailing me out, and I like that was probably the first time in my life where I truly thought dying was a really good idea. And I wouldn't say I'm somebody who struggled with suicidal ideation a lot in my life, but I was like, dude, how did I put myself in this situation again? Like it doesn't make sense. Addiction doesn't make sense. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. And I was just so upset with myself. But I think like a day passed, and my brother and my drug dealer, they went to high school together. They bailed me out of jail. And like, I just knew in that moment, I was like, I'm done with Xanax. I'm just going to drink and smoke. But during this time, so this was like July 6th. And I got sober August 1st of 2021. And we had I had to meet with lawyers and stuff, deal with all these cases, right?
That's a lot. I mean, think about it. You got 3 DUIs before you're 18, right?
Yeah, I got one of them when I was like a few months into being 18.
Okay, so basically though, right? So
yeah, I got 2 at 17 when I 18.
Yeah, that's wild.
And like DUIs, like I've heard it recently. It's like one of the pussiest things like you could do, right? Like there's so much worse, like worse crimes, worse charges. But those fucking DUIs follow you. I'm like almost 5 years sober, and I'm still dealing with the consequences.
It's like 10 years, right, for to get off your record or something.
Dude, a long time. I think I maybe have like 3 more years.
Yeah, it's a lot. I tell people the first time sucks. The second time it really sucks. Third time you're fucked. You know what I mean? It is because like you said, it follows you. It's just like It's like you got to deal with this thing now, and it's just like
And in 3, in some states, getting 3 is a felony, but I think in North Carolina 4 is a felony. But dude, that's fucking insane. I'm like, thank God they got me off the streets. You know what I mean? Like, I was putting people's lives in danger, and I like when I really take a moment and like sit back and look at it, like so many people have lost loved ones to like drunk drivers, and that was something I was doing every day for years. Like, that's insane, and the fact that I didn't hurt anybody physically but myself is nuts. So that's a big blessing.
Yeah, I have a friend who woke up in a jail cell, and they're like, we just want to let you know you killed 3 people.
Yeah, like what?
You had to do 18 to life. Imagine that. Yeah. His story's crazy, but yeah, like you said, like it happens.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my big rock bottom, and then like went to go meet with lawyers, and they really suggested going to treatment, and I was like trying to hold back tears the whole time in that conversation, because going to rehab and treatment, why would I do that? Like, I am not an addict, you know, and I have this vision of what an addict is and what that looks like. Like, I'm fucking 18. I live with my parents. I'm not homeless begging at the drug dealer's door for a front. Right. Like, I can afford my drug. You know, I don't know. I just had these ideas, and I felt like that wasn't me.
Right.
And I think like maybe 2 weeks after that conversation with my lawyers, that's when like my mom started taking some initiative into trying to get me into treatment. I don't know what she did, what she called, or what she, but like she gives me the phone one day and she's like, somebody wants to ask you some questions. And it's like, your admissions like person trying to get the rundown about you and your story. And they were like, on the phone trying to relate to me. I was like, I'm not like you. What are you talking about? And like, I'm trying to downplay like how much I'm using and things like that. But they still thought I was a great fit to go to treatment. So, so July 31st. And what the main thing that was super appealing to me was that I was going from North Carolina to Malibu, California. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was like,
you're going to California?
Yeah. I was getting the call from LA. Yeah. I was like, wait, that sounds
fly me out there?
Yeah. That sounds fun. And like, dude, if it was like somewhere like 2 hours from like where I grew up, I'd be like, whatever.
We're going to send you to Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'm like, whatever. So I think that was like everything, like everything that happened, like just worked out the way that it should have.
Yeah. I always say the universe knows how to speak to us in the way that works for us, whatever it takes. I tell people all the time, hey, if it takes someone that I have a crush on to make me go to an AA meeting, then, hey, that's what it took. Yeah. It got me in there. Hey, if my sponsor, even though he wasn't doing it right, but I found him so cool, and that's why I kept on going to meetings. If that's what it took the first year, and then I got a better sponsor, that's what it takes. Yeah.
It just takes what it takes. Yeah. And like things really work out in a line in the end. Like it's hindsight's 20/20. So yeah, I had that willingness because of the appeal of like going to California, and I was like, hey, so like, could I go to treatment like a month from now? For some reason, I'm trying to pull it off, put it off. And he was like, no, what about 2 days from now? I think it was like like my sobriety day was on a Sunday, so that was a Thursday, and I was flying out Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I like got off the phone. And I was like, whatever. He was going to fly me out. He bought the fucking ticket. I was like, oh my God, I just got tricked and bamboozled into this. But I'm like crying on the phone to this admissions guy. Because he's good. He's like, oh my God, that's my same story. Blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I felt really emotional and vulnerable. I just said, yeah. So, funny enough, I was like outside of my girlfriend's graduation at the time. Mm. She comes out and I'm like, hey, like I have to go in 2 days, like let's get really fucked up. So from her graduation, we just went and got alcohol, and I just had fun for a few days. And my last drink was at the Charlotte Douglas Airport, was like Pineapple Pinnacle at the Charlotte Douglas Airport. And yeah, I flew, and I literally did not look fucking back. So like I had every intention to come back to North Carolina and just like continue what I was doing for the most part, because I didn't identify with like having a real issue. But yeah, I landed, and then like this guy's driving me in like a convertible up the PCH, like in Topanga, and like these windy roads, and I'm like looking at the sunset and the ocean, and I'm like, it's really fucking nice. So I stay at that treatment center for 45 days, and the one thing I really did right was have an open ear and an open mind. I wasn't like a stubborn, like resistant prick in treatment. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'm here for the ride. Yeah. And at this time, I'm like, I really don't feel like I can really form original thoughts or have original opinions or ideas. But having these conversations with all these people in treatment, like, did it for me. Like that, the other addicts and the facilitators, like, that were also in recovery, just like blew my mind away.
Yeah, because what was it that you were hearing, and what was it causing you to feel that made you feel that sense of, you just felt connected or in awe?
First off, like, we don't have our fucking phones, so we have nothing to do but talk to each other, right? And I don't think I've ever had, like, before going to rehab, I don't think I've ever had a productive conversation in my life, or had really thought about anything that deep, or had really looked internally at anything in my life. And so this is the first time I'm getting therapy. And the first time I'm really, like, intentionally having conversations with people and trying to get to know people. And I realized, like, yeah, how sheltered I was growing up. Like all these movies people were talking about and all these like things and traveling that they've done. Like, wow, you've lived. Even though they're in rehab with me, it's like, wow, I'm like, I don't know what living is and what that's like. And I think I know nothing. And admitting that I didn't have the best ideas in life was like my greatest asset in rehab. Like I accepted powerlessness. I did that first step in treatment. Maybe 1 and 2. And yeah, like I'm, but I still, I'm the youngest person there. Everybody's older than me. And so I'm like trying to look past that a little bit. 'Cause yeah, like I'm like, and I'm hearing all these stories about like other drugs and other substances and how fun they are. I'm like, damn, like I just didn't know anything. Like I really felt like a newborn baby going into treatment. And I really feel like that's like the first time I really feel like I felt like God's presence in my life, and like hope and faith and inspiration and motivation in my life was at that treatment center. And on top of it, like just looking at how big the world is and how tiny I am, like it helped, like I'm on the mountaintop and when the cloud, like when it's overcast, we're above like the overcast like clouds, and it it literally looked like I was in heaven. And like that showed me that like it was almost like a visual of God is what it felt like. And I was like, wow, there's something so much bigger than me, and I think it guided me here. And like all I have to do is grab this opportunity and do something with it. And the first like I think I realized or identified with being an addict and alcoholic towards the end of my stay. In terms of like, we had a great facilitator who's now my sponsor, which is insane. And they said like, because I had that resistance about being an addict. I'm like, because they say you don't have a choice and that you're powerless. But I'm like, I'm the one that put the pill in, and I'm the one that took the pill, and sparked the blunt and drank the drink, but I remember like my third DUI, that night I got my third DUI, like I felt like I used when I didn't want to, like regardless of the consequences, I kept using. Like how did I not, through all the pain, the suffering and everything, I still chose to keep picking up a drink and a drug through like, making my parents so upset, hitting my mom, robbing people, like giving my brother pills and then him like getting a battery charge and giving somebody else a pill and them going to the psych ward that same night. Like I don't feel good about any of that. And I still like chose to keep like using and drinking, like no question about it. Like it was my solution. And that's what I really started to identify with in treatment. It's like I really didn't have a choice. And that was my only choice. You know what I mean? It was the only option is what it felt like. So I've had many breakdowns in that treatment center, and I allowed myself to feel. And yeah, that was the first time I really identified with like, wow, I have trauma that I have to work through. And this is what anxiety feels like. I didn't know. I was under the impression that I didn't feel things. That's what I really thought going into treatment. But I just didn't know how to identify feelings because I was never taught that, and I didn't know blah, 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 blah. But like, I figured out what like anxiety really feels like, and, figuring out like my thought process and all of that. It was just like rehab provided me the space of like really looking internally. You know what I mean? And that's what I was really grateful for.
Yeah. I think like you said something really good, right? I think you're exposed to this world that you have never been around. So everything is new. I mean, right? It's almost like when you read the AA book the first time, every sentence you're like, whoa, that's powerful, right? Because your first time. So for you, it sounds like you're put into this environment, right, where there's a language, there's a feeling, there's a mindset, there's just like awareness and the vulnerability, right? Like you said, these conversations, and now you're like reflecting and you're thinking and identifying, and
dude, it was mind-blowing because when I tell you I felt so sheltered and like small and like I didn't know anything, like rehab blew my mind. So that's like in that time, that's when I decided to stay in California. I remember the exact moment I really like mentally decided. We were like driving to a meeting in the Palisades, and we were like at the light where you're like staring at the PCH. We're like at a light where I think it was like Topanga Canyon and like the PCH. And you're just like looking at this beautiful sunset in the ocean. And I remember this tech that was driving, and I was in the passenger seat. She was like, why don't you just stay in California? And then I just like looked in front of me like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Like, what do I have to go back home to? Really? Like, I don't have a life. I thought genuinely, like if I did go back home, I would probably use again. And I'd like decided like I actually do want to give this a shot because I finally have like hope and faith that I can actually like make something of my life. I'd never had any like real dreams or aspirations that I like wanted to achieve. Like I lost that all. I always had an interest in like cameras and like videography and film, but drugs came into play. I didn't think about it once, you know?
Especially because they came in so young, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
that became your passion.
Yeah.
Let me drink, let me do this. And so, all those dreams just kind of fade.
Yeah. So like now, I just feel so inspired, and I decided to go to IOP and sober living, and I was doing that. I think I graduated IOP after 6 months of like being there, and then I stayed in sober living for 18 months. So I moved out of, I moved out, and in the real world without like treatment, like 2 years sober, a little with 2 years sober.
That's when you got out of what, like the sober living part?
That's when I moved out of sober living, like moved out on my own.
Like not completely, just
Yeah.
So let me ask you this too, because a lot of people come out of state out here to get right.
Right.
I see it all the time. But like right, it's most people. You can get the detox. They're in there. 30 days, 45, whatever it is, right? And a lot of people get inspired in that time. You'll see it, right? Oh man, like I can't wait to outpatient. I'm gonna do sober living. I'm gonna get a job. You hear it all the time. I'm gonna work in treatment.
Yeah.
And then you'll see people. Some people tend to just kind of screw everything off right before they go to outpatient. You'll see that cycle. Some people get like that right before they're about to go. They like relapse or something happens. They leave. Or you see people that get to outpatient. And then sometimes people are in outpatient, and when it gets close to them having to leave outpatient to like the sober living, people just can't figure it out. They get this fear of like, okay, now you're going to sober living. Now you should get a job, or sometimes an outpatient, get a job. And some people, I think it's fear, right? Fear of like, oh crap, I got to get a job. I got to figure life out now. Like, what do you think for you helped you be able to navigate those different aspects of your recovery from the inpatient, outpatient, sober living to the point of now I'm on my own? Like, what really helped you stay focused and motivated to be able to overcome any fears that you were facing during that process?
That's a really good question. Yeah. There's so much in that. Dude, it sucks because I've seen it all so much. Like, I think being in sober living for 18 months is it's a pretty long time to see enough people come and go.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Dude, and that's like the most depressing thing about this is that people really come and go and they don't stay.
Yeah. And
I was like thinking about this last night, especially because like my friend told me he was like, hey, I relapsed. And he like confided in me with this. And I was like, and he had just moved out of sober living like a month prior. And even my head, I'm like, how? Like I know life gets so fucking stressful, but it's like, yeah, how do you rationalize that like using is gonna solve this? Like that in my head changed completely. There's been so many times in my sobriety where people have offered me a blunt, offered me a drink. And I like, for some reason, like was able to say no. And I think it was because I like full-fledged went into my recovery, like balls to the wall. You know what I mean? Like I committed to doing this because I saw results. I saw the promises, you know what I mean? And it didn't make sense to like give it up or throw it away. Even though I like, there's many times I wanted to. And I'm not going to deny that. Like sometimes, like right now, if I think about smoking a blunt, it sounds like a great idea. But like deep down, I know that's not what I really want to do. So like, dude, and there's been so many changes. Yeah, like seeing sponsees like relapse or friends go or people pass away, and that's something like I coped with the death of my best friend in my addiction. So sober, like I think I had 4 months sober when my best friend passed away, and I fucking like had so much resentment towards myself
because you introduced them back in
because
the
I
day?
introduced them and I never reached out to make my amends. And I was supposed to write a letter to make my amends, and I never did it because of my fucking procrastination and fear of confrontation. And it's funny because I always fantasize about like me telling them what recovery has been like for me and like the new life I'm like building and found. And for some fucking reason, because of my character defects, and I make everything about myself, I didn't reach out. And then the next thing I know, like I get a call from his sister that he passed away, and like coping with that, like the instant tears and pain in my like chest was insane. I was like crying nonstop for like months just throughout the day. Like I would look at a sign or a billboard, it would somehow remind me of him, and like I start crying. And then like I coped with that sober. And like the idea of wanting to use after hearing that news, like, did not cross my mind. Like, something was genuinely lifted out of me to where it's like drugs and alcohol are no longer my solution to life and living. And that's like the shift I had. And I don't know, like, what was the key component to that? I have no idea. I think it's really an accumulation of things. It's like I was willing to be vulnerable. I was willing to be honest with myself and others. And I was like willing to give up control of everything. Because at the end of the day, dude, it's so exhausting to try and control every situation. And that's something that I really think I did right in early recovery. It's like, I don't want to make the decisions anymore. Thank you for being willing to help me make decisions.
Yeah.
AKA, like, you, a friend in recovery, is sponsoring God. You know what I mean? Like, I was so happy to let go of the control. Dude, I fucking dove into that, you know? And I wouldn't say, like, my relationship with God is, like, perfect, but it exists, you know? And I think, especially now, I'm at a point where I do genuinely want to keep building that connection. And I really don't think, like, I'm kind of going on like a tangent a little bit, but like with my friend who passed away, like, I really don't think death is the end of us. You know what I mean? And like, I knew that in my core somehow, that like, this isn't like, you're just not here anymore. But I know that's not like the end of like me ever being able to like be in contact with you. You know what I mean? Like, I think if I wanted to talk to him right now, like, I think I could, you know, like, death doesn't feel so scary. Like, life and its like responsibilities don't feel as scary. And like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how that's happened, but like, recovery has given me that. But yeah, like, it is an accumulation of things and like willingness and all of that. But like, hard things have happened. Like, yeah, like other people passing away, or like relationships and different responsibilities, or how am I going to pay rent? It's like all of that happens. And I'm like, I'm able to not like pick up a drink or a drug over it. And it like, it breaks my heart that like other people can't find that, you know? So yeah.
I think it's one of those things, right? It's like, you just have to want recovery 1% more than relapse. Yeah. And how do you do that? It's like, you got to be in the mix. Yeah. Have more recovery friends than people who are not in recovery. Yeah. Go to meetings so you have something to go have fun and connect and to laugh and to learn. Yeah. Work a program. Why? Because you got to clear up all that stuff inside of you. Yeah. If you don't clear it up, it's going to be really hard to manage your life when you have all these things. And because like you said, like, life gets hard.
It does.
And a lot of us is like, man, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Yes. I don't know how to do this. And I got to figure all this out. And you know, things don't always work out right away.
They don't.
So it's like, great, everything's going to fall apart. No, it's not. Just keep on trying. You keep on saying that and it's not working. And then it's like that fear. And like you said too, I think there is something powerful with like, okay, you have what I want. What should I do? Go to a meeting this week with me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What should I do next? I'm not feeling good. Repage this. Okay, like, just take direction. You know what I mean? Like, oh, how about you come hang out with us? You know, come build some community. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, so you want to go pray and ask God to help remove this. And like, when you do, if you just do that, it works out.
It really does.
You gotta be willing to just listen.
It fucking like, I'm telling you, it trips me out when like it doesn't work for some people. And I mean, I think there's so many different ways of like finding recovery, and that's something I've learned through like doing my podcast. Like, some people who like, you know, were initially introduced just to the 12 steps and that process, like, all they do now is just go to church and they're good. And like, there's a lot of different routes.
Yeah, I think there's smart recovery, refuge recovery, you got church, you got therapy, AA, NA. Do something though. Yeah.
But I forget what your initial question was. It was like,
I think I did. Yeah. Because I was asking you, like, you know, remember I was saying there's so many phases in the beginning, right? The inpatient, outpatient, sober living on your own. Yeah. Most people don't get scared at specific spots and they relapse out of fear. And I was like, well, what do you do to kind of manage those ups and downs? And like you said, it's like, you're plugged in.
Plugged in.
You're taking direction. You're in the mix. And if you're in the mix and you're willing, you're going to find a solution. Yeah. You know, that's why I always hung out with old timers in the beginning. Yeah. I mean, I've always connected to older people anyways, so it's easy. Obviously, like, these guys are like 80 years old smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, how much time you got? They'll be like, I got 9 years. And I had like a couple months. I'm like, whoa, what is it like? How'd you do that? Like, how do you do that? Like, you just, and you know, they just have some wisdom. You know what I mean? You just got to want your recovery 1% more than you want your addiction. I'm like, whoa, mind blowing. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, cool. All right. What do I do when I'm feeling stressed out? what do I do when I have anxiety? Like, just asking questions. And like, for me, like, that's what helped me navigate stuff.
Right. And it's really knowing that, like, because I think we might have like a little bit of a delusion that like life's just going to be good now that we get sober.
Yeah.
I did the hard part of getting sober. Now everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
And that's just not the truth. Like, life happens. Life does not stop happening. It's just like now we have like different coping skills and tools and different people we can reach out to instead of drugs and alcohol. Even though it's hard, you know, and like, it's not that instant gratification anymore. And that's what we're used to. So it's like it's a complete 180 is what you have to do. Like, yeah, there's no more instant gratification. Now I have to put in like 10 hours of work, and towards the end, you know, and then towards the end of the day, that's when I feel great. I'm like, wow, I did that. I accomplished that, and I got through today.
And now you're coming up on 5 years.
That's fucking crazy. So, half a decade.
Yeah.
That is really nuts. Like, I can't even comprehend it.
How has this year leading up to your 5th year, how's that been for you? What have you learned? What are some challenges you feel like came this year?
It's probably been like one of the hardest years of my recovery, I would say. And which I love that. Like, I love knowing that, like, I like the journey. I really journey to solutions. Yeah. I love the journey of this because, yeah, like, again, I had that willingness of, I just moved back from Baltimore, like, the beginning of this year. Back from Baltimore at the beginning of this year, and my recovery's never been worse. I'd hit the least amount of meetings ever in my life, and I would say I got sober through the 12-step process. And like with that accountability and that like model and program, it's like, and you know, the main thing of that the 12 steps like does for me is like get me closer to God and like fellowship and being of service to others. Right, that's the main point, and that's like probably like the core part of like staying sober through the 12 steps. And yeah, I'd been doing none of that. Like, I had just been focusing completely on work, and then work was kind of plummeting a little bit. And then I'm like, wow, I feel like I have nothing. I feel like I really, like, I got to a point where I felt like I had nothing. Like, I don't have a sponsor. I haven't talked to a sponsor in 2 years. I'm not hitting meetings. My work's falling to shit. I have no money in the bank account, and I just moved across the country with like, yeah, I'm happy I'm back in LA, but I have nothing. Like, what do I have to show for it? You know what I mean? Like, for these past 4 years of my fucking life, and all this work that I've been putting in, it's like, I needed to go back to basics. I really did. And reconnecting with my higher power, I think that's been the biggest thing. And I think my biggest, like, issue, the biggest thing I think I was really missing was my connection with my higher power. I think that's what I'm really working in, like, now in the present moment as well. This has been like, you know, I'm like talking about like the past 6 months. It's like career and like how I'm getting money in the bank and yeah, like restarting like my program of recovery. Like the 12 steps has been the biggest thing. And I'm like, why haven't I been leaning so much more on God? Like, I know that's the answer. Like, why haven't I been doing it? And I think what's really bothered me about my higher power is that I don't know what it is. And I want to know exactly what it is. But at the same time, I don't even think like my human mind could really conceptualize what God is and like define it. And it bugs me, but like my ego and me, it bugs me that I don't know what God is. But I like at the same time have so much faith in my higher power, because look at where it's led me and look at how much it's done for me and how much it's protected me and how it's helped others in life, you know? So, but that's faith. Like, it's not faith. Like, faith doesn't work if you haven't like an answer how it's going to turn out, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
For example, yeah, I've just been praying, like, and prayer also makes me uncomfortable because I feel like there has to be an exact way that you pray. And that's why I'm so jealous of like religion, but I don't identify with a religion. Or whatever the proper word is. That what is the proper like word for when you is it identify with a religion?
They call it a religion, yeah. Nothing dogmatic or whatever they call it, religion, yeah.
Because like you guys know what the fuck you're praying to, and like,
I would say this. I think with religion, when you have a specific spiritual belief, right, where there's a community for it and a book for it, and it's, you know, I think what it can do is, okay, this book says God says I love you no matter what. I can make anything possible. I will forgive you, right? It's almost just like this instruction manual of like, okay, so this is like what God is, right? And then sometimes that could be helpful, right? Because then you're like, okay, cool, I know God says I can do anything in life and I'm forgiven and to love people where they're at and to be kind, and that no matter what, he'll help me get through something, or it will get me through something. So I think what it can do, right, it kind of gives you a clear path of an idea of the personality of this God, right? So I think that could be what the beneficial thing, right? And then having some people with that same belief, right, kind of remind you all the time, hey, remember, it says anything's possible. So right now you're going to get through this. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes that could be the helpful aspect of it.
Right.
When we're trying to always understand something.
Yeah. And it's not like I ever had like a resentment towards God or anything. I grew up Mormon, but I never really identified with it. It didn't like hold a special place in my like being. But I just didn't identify with it. And then, like coming into recovery, they're like, yeah, your higher power is anything of your own understanding. And I'm like, it was too open-ended. And it made me uncomfortable, but I had to get comfortable with that uncomfortability of like, I don't know what I'm praying to, but I know it's something. Yeah. It's something greater than myself, and I know it's there. So that's what I've been doing is like just really prayer, like practicing prayer. And for me, I literally just do the 3rd step prayer every day. And prayer also, I was saying like prayer makes me uncomfortable because I feel like I'm doing it wrong, even though there's not really a way. No wrong way.
To pray is to talk. To meditate is to listen, and it's having a conversation and remind yourself that, because you hear some people, I'm like, whoa, do I supposed to do it like that? That sounded so good, and maybe I'm not doing it right. It's like, nah, you just talk. Just talk.
So that's what it's been, having more faith, leaning into that as long as I take the next right indicated action, like things are going to work out. And as long as I'm not coming from like a selfish place and trying to be of more service to others, like things are gonna shake, and it's gonna be okay. Like knowing it's gonna be okay. Like I'm not gonna fucking die. Not everything's the end of the world. Has been the situation recently for me.
Oh, so that's where you're at right now.
That's where I'm at. But I'm in a really grateful place. Like I think I was just telling you, like, I just started a media production company and just like going full in on that. And I'm getting back in like the process of like the way I do recovery. So I've been super, grateful for that as well. So it's been a journey, and I'm so grateful, like coming from that place of like, wow, 5 years ago, not wanting to be on planet Earth and constantly trying to escape through a drink or a pill, to being here, like sitting with you and actually allowing myself to feel my feelings and identifying my feelings and not wanting to escape reality and be present with you is so crazy. That's crazy. It's a miracle that I'm here today, and like that I've somehow stayed sober through the past 5 years.
And at a young age. We can never forget about that other layer that you had to walk through. It's when I would do group therapy, and I go around the room, and it's like, well, how old are you? Like 18. I developed a mindset, and I was okay with saying, I go, hey, so I want to let you know, if you can't figure it out right now, I don't blame you. You know what I mean? You're 18 years old. It's hard. I couldn't fathom getting sober at 18. So just know that I have compassion for you. I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that you can take these things in. So if you don't get it right now, you're going to have this knowledge and this wisdom that's going to blow your mind and change your life completely. But I get it. You know what I mean? It's kind of just a mindset to have, instead of trying to, no, they have to get it. They should. What do you mean? It's like, come on. They're young. The challenges of that. They haven't even got to an age where it's like, because usually, when you're 18, it's like, okay, I'm 18 now, I can buy cigarettes or whatever it used to be. And then it's like, now next, when I turn 21, I can drink at bars. I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to go to, I'm going to go New Orleans. I'm going to go to, Tennessee, Nashville. Like, that's just like a normal human thing that people have.
Right.
So when you're like, I'm giving up all that, I guess.
Yeah.
And you stuck with it. That's amazing.
It's so mind-blowing. I still don't even understand how like this amount of time has flown by, and like I'm still here sober and clear-minded. But I've had that. I forgot to mention that, like, I had those same thoughts of, like, that's so fucking lame getting sober at 18. Like, that's the lamest thing you could do. Like, I'm in California now. I want to be able to go to the dispensaries, go drink. That sounds fun, but like the way my mindset has changed over the past few years, like it really doesn't even sound that appealing anymore. Like if I really wanted to buy like a drink for the fuck of buying a drink, like let me go buy a drink for a person, for somebody else, or buy a blunt for somebody who loves smoking weed. You know what I mean? Like it's like, what am I don't have anything I'm escaping anymore, which is the craziest part. And like the complete mindset change of what I think is cool and fun.
That's big right there.
Yeah. Like I thought getting high and like smoking the fattest blunt and how smoky can I get my car.
How much can you drink, or all those
Yeah, like, oh, how high is your tolerance? It's not cool anymore. Even like the way I speak today is so completely different. Like the different lingo and the slang I used to use.
I remember in the beginning of recovery, people were like, "What are you saying?" Because I had all the slang and the lingo from like, tweakers. And I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't know how to talk. Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm gonna shut up."
Yeah,
oh, this is embarrassing.
Dude, I've learned so much from just like hearing other people's stories and just observation. Like, so people have taught me so much, and other people's experiences have taught me so much. That's why I appreciate platforms like this. People sharing their fucking stories. Like, I've learned so much through other people, and I almost like credit me like not relapsing to that. Me hearing other people's experiences with relapse has helped me like see myself in their story, and like I really believe like my story is yours is mine. Like, if that happened to you, I think there's a really good chance the same thing could happen to me. That I smoke a blunt, a month later I'm buying a pill.
Oh yeah. The worst thing is like, I mean, it's the truth, right? It's like, I know the worst place to be is when I know it's not going to work and yet I still do it. You know what I mean? And the addiction, and that's the disease, and it's okay. Like, I can't look how we do anything. Yeah. I obsess over everything. So that's why I know I'm a drug addict. That's how when people say, I don't like when people say identify as I'm a drug addict or alcoholic. I go, look, just because I identify with it doesn't ruin my life. I identify with it when I need to remind myself that I do have a problem. I know I do. I got to remind myself. I know I can't pick up drugs and alcohol. That's a good thing. It doesn't make me feel like I'm like a bad person. Yeah. Because as soon as I forget, I can make a really bad decision.
And that's, exactly. And that's what I've learned. And it's funny because, there are people, typically people who haven't experienced addiction themselves say that. Like, why are you still identifying as an addict or an alcoholic? You've been sober 5 years. Don't you think you could just like have a drink here and there? Or it's like, you're recovered. But it's like, no, at the end of the day, dude, I think if I were to pick up a drink today, I'm not going to stop. Like, I have that choice in that first one, but after that, I don't have a choice.
Or you get some people, too, that are in recovery. Right. Yeah, but they kind of start drifting different ways, maybe, and then they become more of like, I don't identify as that no more. I am cured.
Yeah, and I don't...
And maybe, right? Hey, maybe, but maybe you never were an addict then. Maybe you were the hard drinker, the hard partier. Drinker, Maybe you were, because... It's funny. It's for me, right? Because I'm a therapist style, so I'm always analyzing people. I'm like, I hear you, but man, you're actually pretty toxic. So I think you got some stuff you got to work on. I don't say it, but you start to see behaviors of people like that.
I think it's so powerful to keep calling yourself an addict and alcoholic while you're in recovery. I think, because a true alcoholic and a true addict, like, who cares if it's been 10 years of you being sober and abstinent? If you pick up a mind-altering substance, you're not going to have choice. You're not going to have a choice in it anymore, and you won't be able to stop. And that's the difference between, like, like a heavy drinker or an addict. Like, an addict doesn't, like, once they pick up the first one, the choice is gone. And that's what a lot of people can't fathom or understand when it comes to addiction. That's why there is a stigma with it and like discrimination against it. It's because addiction does not make any logical fucking sense. After all of the consequences, all of the harm, all of the pain, why do you still keep choosing to drink? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I always try to compare it to people, like, to give some like ideas. It's like addiction is like, I always tell people, I go, what is your passion in life? Oh, I will do art to the day I die. Okay. That's what addiction is. But I can't do it. Yeah. My passion is doing drugs and alcohol, but I can't do it. Now imagine that. Imagine every day I have to resist something that I love. And I go, that's how addiction is. And that's why I hate it. Yeah. But we have to go on a diet. And the goal is to never break the diet. Yeah. Who could do that? Who could do that when it comes to food? Nobody does. That's cheat days, cheat meals, cheat seasons. Oh, you get over it. I don't need to look that good anymore. I got older, whatever. You know what I mean? I found the vegan version of it or whatever. It's like, no, we're on a diet that we can never break.
I love that. I love that.
That's so hard.
That you can't break. And also the one thing I'll say, it's not the end of the world if you do break the diet. Yeah. Like, it sucks today because people are, passing away just from like one pill, but like, as long as there's willingness to like
get back up,
you can, you know.
I always say, you didn't lose that wisdom. You didn't lose your time. Yeah. You put in, that's like saying you've been working out for 3 years straight. You're in great shape. And then, damn it, what happened? Man, I ate a bunch of hot Cheetos and Doritos and, for like 3 days. It's like, okay, cool. Just go back to the gym. You didn't lose 3 years of working out.
Right.
Like, remember that. But I think a lot of us, because I get it, sometimes that number of how many days we have can really mess us up. When it's like, I got pedestal. 1 day again. I got 2 days. I don't want to take the 30-day chip again.
Yeah, there's that shame with losing the time.
Yeah.
Time is time. Like, who fucking cares?
How much time you got? It's like, well, I had 9 years, but now I have 5 days. But really, no, you still got the 9 years of wisdom. Just get back up.
For sure.
Get back up. Well, I love that. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some speed questions.
Oh, shit.
We ask everybody to answer like in a minute or less.
Oh, shit.
What are 3... Do you ever read books? The audiobooks, podcasts maybe you listen to?
Some.
What do you think? What
I have like 2. I have 2 books. All right, ask the question. Okay. I have 2. There's 2 books I can think of.
Okay, because I usually ask people, what are 3 books you would recommend to someone that can completely change their life?
Ooh, I think these might be like a few basic ones, but The Power of Now.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah. And then what? Oh, wait, it's something coincidences, meaningful coincidences. And I forget what the other one's called, but
I think I just read that book in Bali.
The Meaningful Coincidences.
To me, I think it caught my attention. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
And there's this one where like this hypnotherapist puts people under and they like talk to basically like their past lives and like things like that. I forget what the fuck it's called, but it's so good.
It's just all fascinating.
Yeah.
These different modalities and stuff.
Yeah, I really like self-help things. Like I don't like reading fiction because I feel like if I'm reading, it kind of feels like work a little bit. So if I'm reading, I want to be informed or like enlightened in some way.
You want to grow from that moment. I want to learn something, become something more.
Yeah, I more so use movies for entertainment or something like that. And other people use books, but I like books for like knowledge. But
I love that. What was one single mindset shift that completely changed your life?
I think, kind of what I said earlier, the biggest mindset shift I would say was like realizing that I'm not in control of everything and I don't have all the answers. Like thinking that you know everything and have all the answers, like that's just, a really inflated ego.
The know-it-all.
Yeah. And in recovery, I've had to deflate my ego. That's the goal, is like making myself a little tinier, because I want to remain teachable.
Yeah.
And especially like, coming in at 18, like there's so much to learn, even though you think you know it all. So willingness with that and not needing the control, I would say.
And again, like you said, it's such a alleviating thing when you accept that you don't have to know all the answers. That's a good thing.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, the biggest weight was lifted when I heard that and really resonated with it.
Yeah. I love that. What is the worst piece of advice someone's ever given you?
That's a good one. The worst piece of advice. Do I even get advice from people? I don't think anybody's given me good advice. I'm kidding. Worst piece of advice. Yeah. I think I can give you the best advice.
Okay, let's hear that one.
Okay, because I really don't know about the worst. And I just literally heard this yesterday.
Okay, perfect.
It was balance doesn't exist, so trying to balance everything, because that's been my struggle my whole sobriety, is trying to balance everything, especially when your life gets more full. I journal all the time. I'm like, I'm really struggling with balance right now. I'm really struggling with balance. And it's like, maybe because you can't really do it. Like, I think especially when you have big dreams and big goals, you have to go towards that goal 1000%. Yeah. Like with your recovery, you have to hit it at 100%, or you're not really, like, especially in the beginning, like, I don't think it's obtainable, especially with like a successful career that you want. Like, I'm realizing, like, I have to dedicate almost all of my time to it. You know what I mean? And that's what I've really noticed. It's like, I've been kind of like half-assing this because I want it all at once. I want all of that at once. But does that make sense? Sorry.
No, you're good. No, it does. The first time I heard that was from Ed Milet, and Ed Milet's a successful, business person, super successful. And he was like, balance does not exist.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that, and the way he said it was good. He goes, look, there's a season where he's like, I talked to my wife and I said, hey, right now we're going to sacrifice some vacations and some family time because the business needs my attention. We're in a place where we're going to have to really put a lot of attention to grow it. And then there's a season. All right, guys, now this is a season where I'm going to focus more on my family and I'm going to take a step away from this. And then there's a season I got to take care of my self-care more, and then I got to sacrifice this. He goes, that's just how it works. It's just we're just every day just figuring it out. He's like, but balance does not exist.
Yeah.
You got to accept that. And like you said, especially when you're trying to really grow and do big things.
Yeah.
Like I'm on my phone all day building my business because I have clients. And because of that, the financial success is amazing. But it's going, okay, when someone's like, well, I want that. Are you willing to work this much though? Like that's just what it is. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like that's what it takes. You got to do all these things. And also if you're in a relationship, communicate, still water it, figure it out. If you're going to do date night, make sure you're doing date night. Maybe it's in the morning, maybe it's at night, maybe it's on a Monday, then it's on a Sunday. You got to figure it out. If you want to be in a relationship and you want to build your business, and then if self-care is a big thing, maybe you got to wake up earlier. You know, you got to just make it work. So I love that you shared that.
Yeah, no, and it's just funny. Like the guest I had on my podcast yesterday said that, and it fucking like I was like, dude, that makes so much sense. Like, you know, look back at my story. Like, how did I stay sober in the beginning? Like, recovery was everything for a year and a half, and it was and I learned tools and all of that. So I think now I'm in the moment in life where I have to go balls to the wall with like career and things like that.
Your passion project, right? Yeah, and just go all in.
Yeah,
go all in.
So I would say that's the best advice.
Yeah, that's a good one. For the addict that's still suffering, let's say she goes, you know, I hear your story, and I get it, 3 DUIs before you're 18, basically. I know that's a lot, but my addiction's worse. I take more Xanax than you. I black out more than you. I am different. And recovery, I cannot. Nope. I've tried it all.
Yeah.
What would you want to tell them?
I think it's so funny that, like, just how I said in the beginning, like, we almost put, like, levels of addiction. Like, there's levels of addiction. There's levels of trauma. Like, putting, like...
War story battles.
Yes, like, who has the worst war story? Who has the worst trauma? It's like, why is it a fucking competition? Why are we competing against this? Like, it really doesn't make sense. But I get that mindset. I was there, you know? I think literally, like, if I could get sober, anybody can, especially with the worst story. You know what I mean? Like, if you have more years of experience with using, I'm so envious of that. Like, I wish I, like, had a longer, like, I wish I was using for 10 years because then I wouldn't have that little inkling in my head of, like, Laisha, are you really an addict? Because that's my struggle now. So
it does pop up every now and then.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It pops up of, like, Laisha, like, you've worked through a lot of trauma and healed a lot, did a lot of therapy. Maybe you could pick up a drink or a blunt here and there.
Just know it pops up for me too still.
Yeah, dude. It happens. So I'm envious of those people with like a worse addiction story, a decade of using.
50 years. Like
it's like, that's awesome because now you know for certain through like that evidence experience that you were definitely somebody who has a problem with drugs and alcohol. Like kudos to you. Like now, like if I could admit that I was an addict and alcoholic with only 3 DUIs at 18, you can definitely do that with like a lot more than that, you know? Yeah. So that's like, dude, there's like so many miracles in the program, and the amount of stories I've heard, like I really think as long as you try and give it your all, you can. Like you really can. But the thing is, me saying that isn't going to do anything. You have to experience it. Same thing with like, you know, spiritual awakenings and things like that. Like people sharing their experiences like are really cool and inspirational, but it's not really going to hit unless you've really heard it.
Yeah, and you experience it yourself. Yeah,
like when people, you know, share at meetings or whatever, like them sharing something I've went through makes me like, I'm like, wow. And it's just really seeing those similarities rather than the differences. Like it's really cool when we've both felt like, me and another person have felt the same feelings or emotions or like sad thoughts and happy thoughts. Like, wow, we get each other. Like we're in the same place and we're both in recovery. Like it's super cool.
Yeah, it's a powerful thing for someone when you hear, like the other day I was at a meeting and this girl's probably like, I don't know, maybe your age when you got sober, maybe 18. She looked young. She had 45 days sober. She's like, oh my God, oh sorry guys, I'm getting anxiety right now. I get anxiety when I share. You know, it's just to me, I'm just like, I get it. You know, what I mean? There's so much love because I'm just like, I got anxiety right now too. You know, and so it's a beautiful thing to have that safe space, and where can people contact you? Check out the podcast that you host. Yeah.
So you can find like on Instagram, F the Stigma Pod. And then on YouTube, it's just at F the Stigma. Same on, honestly, if you look up F the Stigma anywhere,
You guys are
you'll
on
find
Spotify and all that stuff.
Yeah, we're on Spotify, YouTube, literally every platform, LinkedIn, everything.
Yeah, Apple, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just find us by looking F the Stigma or at Fuck the Stigma. And with me, you can just find me at No Longer Laisha on Instagram and TikTok. And then on Facebook, I think it's just Laisha Martinez. So yeah. I really appreciate you and thank you for this conversation. I've never cried on a podcast. I just want you to know, like, I've been podcasting almost 4 years.
Yeah.
First time. That's crazy.
I'm good at that. That's the therapist in me. You know, I'm always going to let people talk and where to go and when to pause and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah. And just thank you so much for, you know, making the drive out here from LA to OC. I'll tell you what, people may not think it's far, but it's far, especially when you're a little bit deeper in the valley.
Yeah.
So just thank you for making that drive.
Of course.
Thank you for being here and thank you for your vulnerability and your wisdom.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you also.